Everybody, Angel Medina here. On today's video, I'm going to go over why it is so important that you and your family have your documents if you're looking to refinance now or if you're thinking about buying any type of home in the future. So again, I get asked a lot of times, what items do I need? And what normally happens is I'll tell somebody what items they need before they either purchase a home or they refinance. And this is something that could be really stressful if you're not organized and you don't have all of this handy. So again, on today's video, I'm going to go over exactly what it is that you need before you refinance or you purchase a home. So thank you so much for watching. Again, this is Angel Medina. If you're new here, I would ask you to please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you notice the bell next to the subscribe button, if you hit that bell, it actually tells you that you're going to get notified anytime I upload any new videos. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Angel Medina, your lifelong mortgage advisor. Thank you. Okay, so guys, I'm going to go over on today's video, again, what you need to do if you are thinking about buying a house, if not now or in the future. Let's say you're renting or you already own and you're thinking about refinancing. So a lot of times when I talk to somebody and they're thinking about either buying or refinancing, the first step is I always tell them, of course, I have to take a look at their credit, but then I have to ask for, if everything looks good, their documents. So if you're at a point where you know your credit's fairly decent, and if you were to buy a house or refinance, you know that would be something that you would need to do. You would just need to gather your documents. Then I'm going to highly recommend some of these documents that I'm going to go over, that you make sure and you monitor them and always keep them handy. Now, these are documents that regardless you should have in a folder. I always recommend to scan them and keep them in a folder within, let's say you have a Gmail account. I keep everything in a secure place. I recommend that you keep all of your documents in a secure place, either online, or you can keep a paper document as well, whichever you prefer, whichever is easiest for you. So the first document that's the most important, the one thing I would say when you're thinking about getting documents, I always tell everyone the same thing: income, income, income. So income is the most important. If I was talking to somebody and all they did is give me their income information, would that be enough? No. But would it be probably 80 to 90%? I would say 85% of what I need. I would say definitely yes. So when you're looking at talking to a lender, most lenders would just tell you the bare bone minimum what you would need. And the challenge with that is at the end of the loan, you get frustrated because then the underwriter can ask for additional items such as, you know, your tax returns, pay stubs, more bank statements. So what I do is the list I'm going to go over is to be better safe than sorry in anything that you do, whether you're self-employed or whether you're a W-2 wage earner. I typically ask for the same thing, whether they're self-employed or a W-2 wage earner, whether you work for yourself or you work for a company. Okay, so the first thing is tax returns. So the thing about tax returns is we need all pages of the tax returns along with your W-2. Most people, when they send me their tax returns, I then look over their tax returns and they assume that their W-2 is included with their tax returns. So why is that? Well, they assume that because when you give your tax returns to your CPA, you normally would give them a copy of your W-2 as well. Well, the thing is if you give them a copy of your W-2 and he finishes filing your tax returns, he or she, then they're not going to give you your W-2s back. They're assuming that you made a copy of it as well. So again, your tax returns for 2000, so the last most recent years. So tax returns for the last 2 most recent years. So if we just fell into the new year, then you wouldn't need the new year tax returns right away. You would need the years prior to that, the last 2 years. So the W-2s are something that if you're not self-employed, you're going to receive W-2s. So if you're self-employed, then you don't have to listen to this part. But if you're a W-2 wage earner, you're going to need your W-2s, and those will be with either your human resource, or you should have been mailed a copy or sent a copy. Okay, so the next thing you're going to need are pay stubs. So if you get paid once a month or twice a month, whatever you get paid for that month, I would gather that amount of pay stubs, and more than likely I would also recommend that, just to be better safe than sorry, gather one more additional one. So let's say you get paid twice a month. I would give the last 3 pay stubs that you received. So pay stubs are very, very important if you're a W-2 wage earner. Now, if you're let's say that you're self-employed, if you're self-employed, then you don't need to worry about this. The most important things are your tax returns. So going back to the tax returns though, keep in mind, if you're self-employed and you have tax returns, another thing that the lenders don't tell you is profit and loss statement. So if you are self-employed, you want to make sure that you also include a profit and loss statement. And you don't have to remember all this. I'm going to include this in the description of the video, but that's very important if you are self-employed. The other thing is the 2 most recent bank statements. So let's say you have multiple bank accounts. You want to use the one that you use the most. So let's say you have a primary and 2 other checking accounts and a savings. Then you want to use the one that you primarily use. Now they're going to go over it. They're going to look to see if you had any non-sufficient funds, any like let's say large deposits into your bank. So if you have anything like that, you want to make sure and mention that to your loan officer as well. So remember the 2 most recent bank statements, and as you're going throughout the loan process, let's say you fall over to the following month, then anytime you get a new bank statement, you want to provide your loan officer that bank statement as well. So the 2 most recent bank statements. The other thing you have to have, which is just for identity purpose, is just a copy of your driver's license. So a copy of your driver's license, and it needs to be current. It cannot be expired. Also, if you are looking to refinance, you need a copy of your homeowner's insurance declaration page. So again, homeowner's insurance declaration page. And if you had that insurance for a long time, I would ask them, hey, I've been with you for a long time. Can you take a look at my insurance policy again, just to make sure I'm getting the best deal? And who knows, I would say 8 out of 10 times they might actually lower your insurance premium for the year or monthly, whichever that you normally pay. So you definitely, that's something that I would recommend. Let's say you're with AAA or Farmers and you've been with them, let's say 2, 3, or 10 years. You have no idea. You're probably just paying the same thing that you paid 5 or 10 years ago. So you definitely want to ask them again, hey, just wanted to ask you, is this something that I can actually lower it so I can lower my overall bills? And if you've been with them a long time, I would say the odds of them saying yes are pretty high. So those are the main things that you're going to need. I would say that if you're thinking outside the box, these are things that may not pertain to you, such as, let's say you were divorced, even if it was 5 or 10 years ago, I would definitely have a copy of your divorce decree because the underwriter may ask for it. So what I always do is I do let, if I'm working with you and let's say you said, oh, I was divorced 15 years ago, so there's no way you would need it. I would still recommend that you look for that just in case the underwriter does ask for it, because if they do end up asking for it, then they're going to want to make sure that you have it. And the reason that they are asking for this is primarily to see if you owe any money to, let's say, the person that your ex. They're going to want to make sure that if you have any child support or any money that you owe them or any liens of that nature. The other thing that I also recommend, if you did a bankruptcy, it's not really that necessary. That's something that's really easy to get. Just mention it to them that you did a bankruptcy, whether it's 5 or 10 years ago, because that is something that they normally don't ask for, but it's something that I would highly recommend that you tell your lender that you're working with. So thank you so much for watching this video. Angel Medina, your lifelong mortgage advisor. Thank you.